Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or as I like to call it, our little corner of the internet, which I love so very much. I'm excited to go over these clips with you today. Just remember that this is for entertainment purposes only, okay? We're all just here to have fun, so let's just do that.
This guy has proof of 2 Mandela effects, and he made a video about it, and I'm a little bit scared for him. The first one is the Berenstain Bears one. Now, you can't see what I typed up here in the search bar because it's like cutting off my screenshot, but you can see that it says, did you mean? I typed Berenstain Bears, S-T-E-I-N, because that is what it was, okay? I had these books when I was a kid. They were the Berenstain Bears, S-T-E-I-N, and somewhere along the line, now we've switched universes, and now it is Berenstain, S-T-A-I-N. So I typed Berenstain Bears and it said, did you mean Berenstain Bears? And all it shows me is Berenstain. Look, Berenstain, 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 Berenstain. But this guy has a book, Berenstain, S-T-E-I-N. The other one that he has proof of is the Shazam movie. I know this says Kazam, but I'm saying Shazam. There was a movie called Shazam in the 90s and it had Sinbad in it. And it was about a genie. But apparently that doesn't exist. And it was actually Kazam, and it was Shaq. He has the VHS of Shazam with Sinbad. This one is the one that makes me a little bit nervous for him because I don't know how true it is, but I've seen videos and heard that there's like 3 copies or something like left in existence, showing Shazam with Sinbad on it, and they're trying to get them all, and now he's shown that he has one. So please be careful, man. Anyways, here is the video of him showing that he has these things. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.
So I have something to show you guys. I don't know if you believe in the Mandela effect, but I have proof of it. We just cleaned out my dead uncle's house, and he had this stuff stashed aside, so obviously he knew something about it too. But look at this here. So not only do I have Shazam with Sinbad, but Berenstain book. The Berenstain book. It's the legitimate book. But Berenstain, not Berenstain. You see that? E-I-N. I don't know if it's backwards or not. But the Mandela effect is really, guys. There's also a pair of Fruit of the Loom sweatpants. I'll have to find out what my girlfriend did with them. It does have the cornucopia on the Fruit of the Loom, and it's just bullshit that it was never there. It was there. I'll have to dig out the sweatpants and
This guy has proof of 2 Mandela effects.
How's about that? Right there. And I think we've shown before the Fruit of the Looms, the girl who proved that was some old clothing she had. And I believe Fruit of the Loom replied to her with all of their logos that they've ever had, stating it's never had that. And she's like, just kidding. Not sure if they ever replied to the actual proof, but here's some more along that train of thought. Like, do you guys believe in these Mandela effects? What is the purpose? I mean, we can all just assume it's some sort of psychological manipulation, but what is the long-term purpose here? And these very specific things.
In 2021, a fisherman known as Sauce 90 began having these bizarre and mysterious encounters while on the ocean. And after going viral with several videos, he disappeared from the internet. Now just recently, Sauce 90 began uploading videos once more of these mysterious encounters of what people believe to be evidence of the existence of mermaids.
Absolutely, you've never seen anything like this? No.
But before I show you these videos, let me explain how it all started.
Sauce 90, and we just out here. We're chilling.
It all began with him hearing strange vocalizations at night in the middle of the ocean.
Out here. Where are you? This is crazy. I heard it. I heard it. I hear it. Crazy. That's nuts.
In this particular video, if you pay close attention, we can hear what sounds like some sort of vocalization, as if this creature, whatever it is trying to communicate with him. It is a popular belief that mermaids try to lure people in by singing or enchanting sailors, and I guess this is exactly what was happening with Sauce 90.
Can you hear me? At the docks, though? Hey, yo, you hear that? I know what the that is. That bitch followed me the in. Oh, at the docks, though?
Just a couple of days after, Sauce 90 goes back to his commercial fishing trips, and on one dark night, he finds a mysterious bone on the ship's deck. After posting the picture to Instagram, there were many internet users stating that this is possibly the tail of a mermaid. Now, being someone with a certain level of expertise on marine life, Sauce 90 is unable to identify the bone, so he takes it to an expert.
It was the day I got a call back from the whaling museum, and they had an expert there who was willing to talk to me about the bone that I have found.
Don't know what it is.
Yeah, everybody's saying they never seen nothing like it. Usually the bones that come up are like vertebrae and stuff, but nobody's seen anything like this.
Now, just recently, he posted another video where we can see that there's something once again swimming next to his boat. On that same night, he captures something swimming very close to his boat, so he gets his camera and tries to snap a video of it. And this is what he saw. Did you see that? Now, whatever this thing is, most internet users agree that there's something there and that it could be a mermaid.
It could be. It certainly could be. Sailors know. I see some weird things out on the water. Have you guys ever seen anything like mermaids? Something tells me it's not going to turn out like a Disney movie. The one thing that's odd, though, is with the bone that was found. I mean, it was a bone. I think they're trying to say that was the end of the mermaid tail, but I thought they were more fin-like, you know what I'm saying? Rather than a bone that's rigid. Maybe I just don't understand the merms, you know? If anybody knows, let me know.
Since this app is getting banned, fuck it. Hydrating yourself, you have to drink food coloring. If you have a headache, you need to eat food coloring. If you want a mouthwash, you have to mouthwash with food coloring. Brush your teeth with food coloring. Sweat less with food coloring. Wash your body with food coloring. In America, this should only be acetaminophen. But only here do we add all of these extra random ingredients to the concoction. Always food coloring. Dye your hair with food coloring. Wash your clothes with words that none of us can even read. Snack on food coloring. Multiple food colorings, of course. We can drink microplastics. When you break down everything in this aisle, it's just oil, salt, and some sort of carbohydrate mixed with a ton of hyper-palatable ingredients that are no good for you. If you need energy drinks, there's something underlying that's wrong. Or candy, same thing for children until you get older and understand the effects on gut health. Cookies are actually not even real food. It's just sugar and junk. Now they're even freeze-drying our candy to make us think it's better for us. If you actually look at the ingredients on these versus these, they're the exact same. Eat some foaming Skittles. Nuts and seeds could and would be good for you if you didn't buy them in America. Because this should be a cashew with rosemary and sea salt. But it's a cashew with sugar, peanut oil, silicone dioxide, anti-caking agents. Like, what are we doing? So out of this entire aisle, you have regular almonds. Everything else is not even food. You have one option. Same thing, your crackers, your snacks, your cookies, your chips, no options. Imagine if everyone in the world knew, wow, that's the only healthy thing in this entire aisle. We have turned actual fruits and vegetables into juice drinks, stripping them of a majority of their nutrients. You see, proudly baked in the USA. Of course it was, because it's going to contain a bunch of food coloring. We're in another aisle of just food coloring, grains, and oils. I mean, this one's so colorful it's crazy, but it cools your mouth. Wonder what ingredient they're using over here to cool our mouth. Well, that's right, probably banned ingredients. You got your yummy non-omega-3 fatty acid oils, which yes, you need omega-6 and omega-9, that's normal, but They use that and all the other things that have the bad ingredients. We have Jello, which is going to contain maltodextrin, acesulfame, aspartame, and food coloring. But remember, it's because it's an American company. So you can see, American company, sucralose, HFCS, high fructose corn syrup. So here's where it comes together. You have Heinz, an American company. There's your HFCS again. And you come over to the ketchup, and there's your HFCS again. But here you go again, and there you go again. Some of the foods over here are engineered so good that other brands can't wait to get a part of it. But remember, they're always American companies, selling to Americans things that are banned in other countries. So based on everything that you've just seen, with boxes of corn syrup, end caps of supposedly edible, do you really think they're banning it because it's a national security risk? Yeah, imagine everybody walked down the grocery store aisle and didn't buy a single one of these foods because they knew that only the large corporations can afford to be sitting on the end cap, because then they can be loaded with a bunch of ingredients that aren't good for you as a human, because they're all just creating different forms of the same thing. So why would all of these companies in the United States of America want an app banned in the United States of America? I think you know the answer to that question. See you on my other platforms, I guess.
So I know we have a few people who I'm so grateful that watched outside of the United States. If any of you guys have time and you have any of these things, like the cereals or just any of the staples that for any of us, I'd be very curious if you don't mind snapping a picture of the ingredients just to see from someone directly. Because we all see these videos, but if I could compare, like, you know, my cereal to your cereal or something like that, that would be really cool. So if anybody wants to send in, it's realdebontheweb@gmail.com. That would be a really cool thing to do, I think. Hey guys, just a quick reminder that I make these videos every day, Monday through Friday. So if you're enjoying the content as much as I love creating it, go on ahead and hit that subscribe button and join this awesome community that we're building and stay up to date with the most current news. We're going to go ahead and get right back to it. Thanks for being here. Let me get out of the way. This is some wild footage.
The following footage comes from a witness in a rural area. His security cams pick up an unidentified creature that looks humanoid but is not. And here's the kicker. This isn't the first time we have posted about this. This is actually a second sighting of this creature. But again, the question remains, what is this thing? Take a look at this footage and tell me what you think.
I don't know what to say about that. Bring on the it's not real comments, guys. I don't know. I'm not as convinced that it's not real. I think there's all sorts of stuff out there, and trail cams make it possible for us to find out things we never were supposed to see. Or that we were never supposed to stop seeing in the first place. But now the unseen is something that's hidden from us that we used to have access to. And now everything is monsters and demons, but really it's just various dimensions of just reality that we all live in. Who knows? So we've talked about the double slit experiment a little bit here, but this guy, if you can get past the way it's explains it so well. So ignore the condescending tone.
This experiment is absolutely wild and may confirm that we're living in a simulation. It was performed by Thomas Young and it's called the double slit experiment. So basically, if you fire particles at a screen through a split, it will make this clumping pattern, okay? What if you add a second slit? You fire the particles, it makes two clumping patterns. Everybody with me? So if you perform this with a wave, this is what you would expect to see. The density would be in the middle and it would disperse outwards, but it would look similar to the clumping pattern with the most density being in the middle. So now let's do it with the two slits. When you do two slits, as the waves pass, they create their own waves, and the waves interfere with each other at different points. This is called an interference pattern, okay? Particles clump together, waves make an interference pattern. So now let's do it with electrons. As you fire it through, you'll see a similar clumping pattern. So as scientists performed it with two slits, they expected to see two clumping patterns, but they didn't. What they saw was this, the interference pattern. For years, the scientists thought, well, maybe these electrons would collide with each other and that's what causes this interference pattern. So in the 60s, they modified the experiment where they would only shoot one electron at a time and it still made the interference pattern. So they wanted to see what was causing this, and so they made an observer. They wanted to record what was happening, and here's what's crazy. With the observer there, the electrons would make two clumping patterns. They would behave the way that they were supposed to. Without the observer, the interference pattern.
But that's a different result to what we had earlier. So here's the last bit of sneakiness that we can play with atoms. Surely now, we're going to get to grips with it. Leave the detector there, but just very quietly go and unplug it. Don't let the atoms know that you're not spying on them. Run the experiment again.
They run it again with the observer unplugged, and it's the same interference pattern. Depending on whether the particles were being observed or not, impacted the way that they would act. Like, how would a particle be aware of this? So the experiment was updated to the delayed choice experiment. They would fire a photon. There would be no observer until the photon goes through the slits, then the observer would turn on. And here's where it gets absolutely insane. Once the observer was turned on, the photon would act like it had been observed the entire time. It would go back to doing a clumping pattern, switching from wave to particle.
Experiment showed is that even though the electrons started as waves but behaved like particles after being observed, at the moment the decision to observe them was made, the electrons recorded themselves as having passed through the slits as particles. The electrons changed their state by going back in time.
Do you understand what that is saying? They changed their state by going back in time. The scientific definition of that, by the way, is called retrocausality. So if photons from a star came to Earth, let's say that star is 100 million years away, those photons went through a double slit, they would make the wave interference pattern, unless they were being observed. If it was observed, it would make the clumping pattern. Even though for 100 million years it existed as a wave pattern, once you observed it, it, through retrocausality, goes 100 million years in the past and acts like a particle. This is similar to how rendering works in a video game. A video game engine only renders what you perceive. It's not going to render all of the detail inside of this building until you are there inside the building. It is constantly rendering things as your perception changes. The reason why it does this is so that it can save on compute power, but you have the illusion of a complete and total map. The double slit experiment suggests that the same thing may be happening with us. Things only get rendered if you're observing them. So everybody's heard the saying, if a tree falls in the woods but no one's around to hear it, did it make a sound? Well, according to the double slit experiment, if a tree falls in the woods and no one's there to observe it, does it even exist? Did it even do anything? Pretty trippy, right?
Super trippy. I love it, though. I so love it. And just for fun, I looked up the actual definition of retrocausality, and it specifically says retrocausality, or backwards causation, is a concept of cause and effect in which an effect precedes its cause in time, and so a later event affects an earlier one. So look into that if you choose. I thought it was quite an interesting concept. I'm very intrigued. Far more intrigued by this than I ever thought I would be, to be honest. I think time travel is very interesting, and I love watching videos of potential time travel things that have been caught, but it's just not been the area of my specific interests. But it's gaining. We're going to turn that down a bit. This is some Ring camera footage. So This guy is not robbing anyone or anything. This is actually his house. I'm just gonna preface that because I thought that's what I was looking for until I saw. All right, let's make it big. I'll play it again and turn it down. So, go ahead. Yeah, it definitely appeared to be like a fog of a person, right? I love these things. Our Ring cameras catch so many things. I wish people would do less with AI, truthfully, because it makes us so able to question everything, and I'm wondering if that was the intent. We don't think anything is real. We might, but we don't. You know what I mean?
In 1994, our daughter came out of her bedroom one morning and came over to my wife and said, "Last night I was flying." She says, "Sir, you were flying?" And she said, "Yeah, the sky people took me." And my wife was a little confused. She was like, "So, like, you had a dream?" And she says, "No, I was flying. I was in the air." And I was upset because I didn't have my blankie. She took her blankie everywhere with her. And my wife said, "So, like, what do you mean?" She goes, "The sky people took me. I was in the sky flying. I was waving at you guys. I could see the house." And this kind of freaked my wife out, so she questioned her a little bit more. And she totally believed her. And I think I had gone to work that morning. When I came home, she told me about it. And we were both a little freaked out about it. And we talked about it. And it's always just been a thing we've kind of joked about. My daughter talking about the sky people.
Sky people. It just became a thing in their family. Oh, you know, Laura and the sky people. It really reminds me of X-Files a lot. Except for that the sky people brought her back. Samantha, not so much. Do you guys remember these programs?
If you're seeing this right now, you may have been in a gifted and talented program as a child in school, and how the TikTok algorithm knows this about you, I do not know. But if you have a hard time remembering what happened to you in that program, I want to show you something that might jog some memories. Does this next voice sound familiar to you?
This is the exercise for your own development process designed by you. You should be hearing my voice in your right ear.
What I just shared with you is not a hearing test, which is likely what they told you it was during those sessions. That clip is taken directly from a hypnosis tape by Robert Monroe called The Gateway Process, and it is designed to elicit astral projection and remote viewing sessions. This may not be for everyone, but a portion of these gifted and talented education programs were actually used as a covert government program to experiment and explore psychic phenomenon in children. If hearing that triggered a memory for you, or you have any more details about what you personally went through in the gifted and talented program, sometimes called GATE or TAG, there's a lot of different names for it, please share it with us so that more of us can unlock even further memories.
How about you guys? Does anyone remember being involved in any sort of programs? And I'm wondering, was this just in the United States? Seems like a lot of experimentation seems to happen here. Or just curious, let me know if you're willing to share. This is wild.
I don't want to be the one to sound like I need to be wearing a tinfoil hat. But did you see the video of the New York Post reporter walking through the house of Samsu Dim Jabbar? If you don't know the name, that's the New Orleans attack. First off, let's start by the FBI raided the house, searched the house, and then left the house open. And after they left the house open, the New York Post came through and did an interview in the house. That's crazy, right? Look at this.
We're here
Look at this shit.
inside the New Orleans terrorist home.
What?
You can see that it's been clearly destroyed. destroyed the door, at least from the FBI raid yesterday. But
First off, let me start by saying I never seen any shit like this in my whole entire life. Second, I'm not gonna run the whole video because apparently, you know what, I'm not gonna get into that. What I will say is I don't believe in coincidence. I don't at all. And I'm not saying anything other than what I'm saying. How did she get authorization to be in this house? Who authorized this visit? Who let her in here? There's just so many red flags I've seen with this interview, video, whatever they want to call it. Look on New York Post's page and look at the actual video and tell me exactly what you see. Please go to their page, look at that video, and tell me exactly what you see. Red flags and all. And if I'm bugging, let me know I'm bugging. Let me know. But I know for a fact that I'm not bugging. I ain't gonna say it, but I think you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. So, according to other opinions that I've read about this clip, you can definitely feel free to go over and watch that yourself, but supposedly it looks very set up. And I hate to be judgy. I'm not trying to be when I say this. I genuinely am asking, since when do reporters show up on site in leggings? I mean, I'm not, no hate about it specifically, but I just remember turning on the news and everyone was always wearing like professional wear and it just being something that elicited trust, you know what I mean? And now it's like going to the mall and I just don't trust any of it. So I don't know. So next up, we're going to go to the good clip of the day and tell me if I'm crazy with that thought too. Maybe I'm just being old fashioned because again, I grew up with my grandparents. So I do have some old fashioned stuff inside me. The good clip of the day isn't necessarily anything that's extra feel good. You probably won't need tissues today. Things like that. But it is just I thought it was a funny, lighthearted perspective of something that we're all going through. And I want to preface this in case any little ones are watching. It has a lot of profanity, but I couldn't take it out. It's just like the whole thing is riddled. So I'm sorry if there are any little ones who can't watch it. I really appreciate you. I promise this isn't that funny or that good. There's nothing that you're missing that much. But for the adults, I think you'll like it. I'm so small. All right.
I don't know why the fuck everyone's tweaking out about the aliens being from the ocean. You need to use your fucking noggin for a second and put yourself in their shoes. You gotta think like an alien. You're zipping around, you're looking for somewhere to live because you blew up your whole fucking planet. And you see this fucking blue ball. And you go, send a scout. The scout comes back, he goes, that fucking bitch is 75% water, Jack. And then you says to him, all right, well, who's in charge of that fucking planet? And they say, well, they're called humans, but the humans, they only live on land. It's like 25% of the planet. And then you says to your scout, you go, what do you mean they only live on land? You just said 75% of the planet is ocean. And he says, yeah, they don't know how. They don't know how. They can't figure it out. They got like little fucking assholes that wear wetsuits and they got fake fucking flippers and they go around sucking on the air tanks, but it's the pressure. They can't handle the pressure. They've been trying to figure it out, but they can't handle the pressure. Now, I'm an alien and I'm going, all right, well, this fucking ship that I got can handle 9,000 fucking G's. I'm moving faster than the speed of light, Jack. Why don't we set up a base in the fucking ocean? Because you're telling me that these things can't go down there and fuck with us. That's where I'm parking it. That's where I'm parking it. Because it goes further than that. You gotta be like, why are they here and they're not ruling us? Well, they're clearly observing. They're here to observe for some fucking reason. Now, if I were gonna go observe some other fucking planet and it was 75% water and I had the technology to live in the water and these fucking things didn't, and I was like, I don't really want to get spotted by these fucking things, yeah, that's where I'm going. And I'm a scuba diver. I don't know if any of you know this. Just another thing that I can do that you can't. I'm a certified scuba diver. Once you get down there and you see the colors and the way the octopus function and the formations, some of the fish look like fucking moving curtains when they're in formation, and the silence. It's all you can hear. It's the closest thing to space. Holy fuck, I think my dad put me in alien territory when I was a child. He was like, you want to go scuba diving? What a fucking nut. Doesn't that mean I'm closer to an astronaut than any of you motherfuckers, unless you're also a scuba diver.
I just thought that was funny. And I wanted to share with you. I hope everyone is having a glorious week. What are we on, Tuesday? My goodness. Days just go by so fast, don't they? I hope everyone's doing some good things with their day, though. I hope family's well. I hope your health is well. I hope everyone's feeling good and hopeful and working towards a goal that's making you feel positive in your life. And I just want everyone to be happy. So go spread joy and kindness and it will come back to you. So I want to say thank you for being here and sharing some of your night with me tonight. I hope to see you tomorrow. And I want to say goodnight to my grandma. I want to say goodnight to my amazing family and to you beautiful souls out there. I love you all, and I'm signing off.